Hey everyone, my name is Dred. I'm here from Miss Valley Arts and Entertainment, and I'm here to talk about Mr. Jason Greger's article from today, August 2nd, 2022, called Hockey Canada and Hockey Culture Needs to Change. For the first time ever, well, first time in a long time, I've actually wanted to reach out and comment on an article here on OilersNation.com. But when I went to the sign up page, the sign up button doesn't work. Fill in the information, push the button, and absolutely nothing happens. So, yeah, it's like they decided they didn't want people signing up just to comment. I don't know. So let's read through this article and I'll talk a little bit about what I'm feeling about things because I have not commented on any of this Hockey Canada stuff up till now. I keep thinking I really need to do it. I guess today is the time. So let's read this here. It's entitled Hockey Canada and Hockey Culture Needs to Change by Jason Gregory. Rarely is sexual abuse covered as publicly as we've seen with the case involving Hockey Canada, case or cases. Even when former CHL head coach J.M. Graham's history of abuse, which spanned decades, came to light, there was no House of Commons committee. Maybe this is a sign that the hockey community and society overall is ready to face and discuss the rampant issue of rape and sexual abuse. Sadly, we have seen very little progress in how society views these deplorable events. Victims and survivors often live in silence and shame while the perpetrators go on with their lives. I would like to point out that there's also another side to that in which people get falsely accused of things and can have their lives ruined by that too. And I'm not saying I'm not making this what is written here right, wrong, or right, or anything else. I'm just saying there is another side to it as well, and both those sides are very, very ugly. I desperately want to believe this hearing will change in a positive way how we view and discuss sexual assault and rape, and more importantly, how we discipline and punish the offenders. But the problem is so widespread, I'm not optimistic. I'm with you there, Jason, both on wanting to believe and not being very optimistic. How did we get here with Hockey Canada? It stems from a lawsuit that was filed this past April by a woman who alleged she was sexually assaulted. And it's good to point out this is an allegation so far. It's never been proven because it never went to court. Who alleged she was sexually assaulted by 8 former CHL players at a Hockey Canada Foundation event in London, Ontario in June of 2018. Hockey Canada settled the lawsuit in May of this year, 2022. But if Rick Westhead's reporting hadn't exposed the settlement, then we likely would have never gotten to the House of Commons committee. It wouldn't have led to the Globe and Mail's report about the National Equity Fund, which is generated by Hockey Canada membership fees and investments, according to Hockey Canada Chief Financial Officer Brian Cairo, or Cairo. Let's go with Cairo. Cairo said this during his testimony to the House of Commons. Without Westhead's initial report, nothing inside Hockey Canada would have changed. Kudos to Mr. Westhead. The same hearing, Hockey Canada CEO Scott Smith told the committee he would not resign from his position and he was capable of creating the change needed. Sadly, this is, in my opinion, just another case of somewhat blinders on. Can't see reality. People, let's talk about this right now before we keep reading. We've got 2018, we've got 2003 as well. Who knows how many others times within those preceding years in between we've had issues, some reported, some not, and before that issues as well, and after that, so before 2003, after 2018. This is, look, parents send their kids into the Hockey Canada program, whether it's the World Juniors or whatever it is. These are someone's children. Yes, some of them could be 19 years old. Doesn't matter. These are someone's children, and when they put them into Hockey Canada programs, they think their kids are going to be safe, that they're being looked after properly, that they're being watched over. And we hear about drunken parties and rape and covering it up and paying off the accusers and covering it up. This is despicable. This is disgusting. That parents should not have to feel these kind of emotions. That, oh my God, my child was in Hockey Canada at one time. What if they're involved in this? Hockey Canada has let down every single Canadian for countless, like literally beyond count of years, without changing, without implementing any changes to protect the children other than silence. Think about it. My God. So, CEO Scott Smith told the community he would not resign from his position. He was capable of creating the change needed. I would laugh, except I would probably vomit while I was laughing. No offense to Steve Smith, or Scott Smith, it's not just Scott Smith that's the problem. It's everyone. I'm sorry, but the organization needs a cleansing. It needs new direction, new priorities, and new leadership. The current regime didn't want to change. They were forced to. A few months ago, Smith and Hockey Canada paid for the problem to go away quietly. It didn't. Yeah, they're not the solution. They're the problem. They all 100% have to go. And yes, of all the great women who have come through Hockey Canada, surely there's got to be one who could stand up and be the leader, be the CEO. I'm not talking about the best person to lead Hockey Canada. Who is it right now? I don't want to know that. I want to know who's the best woman to lead Hockey Canada and fix this problem. Because a woman has a unique insight into this, and she's going to get it fixed. And everyone under her is going to change as well. I'm not saying everyone under her needs to be a woman, but we do need to have some representation there for sure. People who can understand the other side of this and won't put up with this bullshit anymore. So Smith told the committee they had paid out $8.9 million for sexual abuse settlements to 21 complainants since 1989. $7.6 million for 9 claims came from the National Equity Fund. Most of it, $6.8 million, was for settlements related to Graham James. There was an additional $1.3 million paid through insurance to 12 other sexual misconduct claims, which means you paid the victims or the complainants, whichever you want to prefer, the alleged victims and the complainants. You paid them about $100,000 a piece to go away. You threw pocket change at them for Hockey Canada and said, "This is all you're worth. Go away. Don't bother us. We don't want to change. You're the problem. Have some money. Go away." But not very much money. Disgusting. "We haven't used money to protect our image," said Smith. Lies. "We've used money to respond and support victims. We've used money to support families." No, you haven't. You're a liar. "I don't doubt they believe that, but how come none of their internal investigations uncovered as much as West Head's reporting? Smith and company might believe they are helping the family, but by asking for non-disclosure agreements, sure looks like they're trying to keep things quiet." Lately, when you hear the term hockey culture, it is often in a negative light. I believe there are many great things within the game of hockey, but hockey is not immune to sexual abuse, sexual misconduct, and other deplorable actions. Sadly, it exists in hockey circles just like it does in football, gymnastics, ballerina, tennis, and virtually every other sport. Just like it exists in every walk of life, from teachers, lawyers, the church, and many neighborhoods. Sexual abuse and rape are a major issue in society. I've noticed some people in hockey get defensive when the term hockey culture is used to describe the allegations involving the 2018 and 2003 World Junior teams. It is okay to admit there is a problem within hockey. completely agree. Apparently, unless you're in Hockey Canada, in which case, that's not okay. Because that's been their MO. That's what they've done. Instead of trying to deflect away from it, all of us involved in hockey need to recognize it exists, stand up and voice it needs to change. Hear, hear. Yes, Mr. Gregory, absolutely. Hockey touches most communities in our country. Many of us played it, are still playing it, are coaches or volunteers or have children involved. Instead of getting defensive by saying it happens everywhere, maybe hockey should become a leader to start change. If everyone in hockey decides we've had enough with protecting the perpetrators, or turning a blind eye to sexual abuse and be the voice of change, maybe the rest of society will follow. By the way, where's the NHL on this? Why isn't the NHL saying this? Why isn't the NHL coming out and saying, we're disgusted by the things that come out about Hockey Canada, and although a lot of these things have not been proven in court, and we're taking them at face value, and if this is as bad as it looks, we're disgusted and we're calling an immediate change. It's not happening. It's hockey culture. Welcome to it. Waiting for someone else to be a leader and change hasn't worked. We are far from perfect when it comes to racism and homophobia, but at least we've made strides in recent years to get better. We still have steps to go, but at least we've taken a few in the right direction. There really hasn't been any positive gains for decades when it comes to sexual abuse. Yep. Child abuse is rampant. Scary aspect is that 95% of children victims know and trust their perpetrators. In Canada, 30% of women 15 years of age and older have reported experiencing sexual abuse at least once. Jeez. Reports suggest 10 to 20% of men experience some form of sexual abuse or sexual assault in their life. But even now in 2022, male sexual assault is downplayed or mocked if they admit it. Sexual abuse impacts children, men, and women. Hockey has many very good aspects, and right now Hockey Canada has shown the largest governing body in hockey has a problem. But Smith and others within Hockey Canada aren't truly admitting it because they are still there. Smith did add, should our board of directors or the governance review we've outlined in our action plan suggest I am not the person that I'm prepared to accept that. So he won't resign on his own, but what if the board suggests it? But how many people on the current board should remain there? Smith is only one person. Should it be the scapegoat for all of Hockey Canada? I agree. But he should be a scapegoat. He isn't the only one who felt their secrecy to pay out victims was the best plan. There should be more changes than just him. Does anyone at Hockey Canada have the experience to lead the organization through the muddy waters of sexual abuse? How will they address it? What guidelines and rules will they put in place? All of us involved in hockey need to have the uncomfortable conversations around sexual abuse. Can't be yelling and screaming. It needs to be calm, open dialogue and discussions, and it can't be a one-time online course that people take. Hear, hear. That will do very little. It's the deeply ingrained problem in hockey and society. It needs to be put on the front burner. No longer can we sit back and hope others will start the uncomfortable conversations. Waiting around has done nothing. Change is needed within Hockey Canada, but also awareness and change within the hockey culture. Start there, hopefully the rest of society will follow. So Gregory goes on to say he was going to be doing play-by-play for the upcoming World Junior Championships on radio for Canada's games. He's done it before, he was thrilled to do it, but he felt in light of all this that he needed to step down. He gives some personal stuff about family members and friends he's known who've gone through sexual abuse. I will allow you to go and read that yourself if you want. I am going to link to this article down below. I've spoken many times about the need to change and improve how we view sexual abuse. I didn't want to talk about on my radio show one day and the next day be calling games for Team Canada. I want to make it clear my decision wasn't based on the players or coaches on this year's team. They have done nothing wrong. They deserve to play. I just didn't feel it was the right time for me to call in games. If I want change, I'm going to have to be willing to step away from something that impacts my personal opportunity, and I wish Team Canada all the best. Okay, I want to add something here. First of all, I just want to say thank you, Mr. Jason Greger. I really honestly agree with everything you said in this article. And this article needs to be reposted every day for the rest of human history until we get it right. This is important. This is more important than hockey or sport or who wins or any of that crap. This is not a game. This is people's lives being ruined. Okay? Now, as an Edmonton Oilers fan, because I'm here in the Oilers Nation site reading articles, as an Edmonton Oilers fan, I wish I had access to more Oilers fans so they could hear what I'm saying. Unfortunately, probably won't happen. But here we go. We just had an article today, a couple articles come out on Kevin Lowe stepping down for the organization. I don't believe it had anything to do with this, although I could be wrong. I don't know. I think it's just he stepped down. It's time. And of course, quoted in those articles is Bob Nicholson from the Oilers. Let me say this as an Oilers fan. Bob Nicholson needs to be forced because he won't do it willingly. Bob Nicholson needs to be forced to leave his position with the Edmonton Oilers and hockey immediately. Bob Nicholson was with Hockey Canada for many years. Bob Nicholson is part of the problem. Bob Nicholson is one of the people who covered up rape and sexual assault. Alleged, yes. Bob Nicholson is part of the problem with those who paid off survivors of rape and sexual assault by members of Hockey Canada. Okay? And made them non-disclosure agreements so they couldn't talk about it. He's one of the people who didn't report it to higher authorities. Okay? He's one of the people who wanted it hushed. And he's also one of the people who wanted no change, didn't see a problem, right? He's one of the people who, during his years in Hockey Canada, never implemented anything that would teach young men, this is not acceptable. You do it, we're going to expose you and toss you out of the program. So it was serious. No, I can't even imagine how many times Bob Nicholson was personally involved in covering up this stuff. Okay? Bob Nicholson not only needs to not be a member of the Edmonton Oilers because of that, he should never touch the sport of hockey again. Okay? And I'm not making Bob the scapegoat, but I'm saying as Oilers fans, you have the voice, you have the power to reach out and let your Edmonton Oilers organization and owner know that having Bob Nicholson, because of these allegations and what's going on, having Bob Nicholson on the Edmonton Oilers payroll is no. That is a hard, fast no. And shame on all the reporters who have not hounded this man and hounded the members of the organization about his connections to this shit. Shame on you. You are part of the hockey culture, reporters. You are part of the hockey culture. You are part of the problem. Stand up. Have some guts. Stand up for women. Stand up for people. Do what's right. Fans of the Oilers, write letters. Start TikToks. Start petitions. Refuse to go to games. Refuse to give the Oilers your money. Band together until your voice is heard. If people realize we're not letting you get away with this shit no more. Bob Nicholson has to go. I don't care if Bob Nicholson was involved with any NHL team, I would say the same. But I happen to be a fan of the Oilers. So I have the right to reach out and say this. Bob Nicholson needs to not be able, he's made up money in his life. He's elderly. He can retire. Go retire, Bob. Go home. Think about life. You're not welcome here in hockey anymore. The things you've done disgust people. Things you've done have hurt people. The things you've done have hurt your organization now that it's come to light. And he has no business being involved in the Edmonton Oilers, the NHL, or anything to do with hockey. He's not the problem, but he is the problem. Okay? Scott Smith, CEO Scott Smith of Hockey Canada, he's not the problem, but he's the problem. Okay? The board of Hockey Canada, they're not the problem, but they're the problem. All of these people, all of them need to be completely cleared out. Start over. As long as some of them hang out, you're not getting any change. You are not getting any change. Go right back to Jason Greger's article and his headline, his tagline right here, his title, Hockey Canada and Hockey Culture Needs to Change. For Miss Valley Arts and Entertainment, also known as Miss Valley Gaming, also have a secondary channel over at MVGs-Tamriel-RP. My name is Dredd. Appreciate your time. Ta-ta.